Hello and welcome back. So we just gave these guys a little light torture. Physical or emotional, I'm not 100% sure, but they are clearly very unhappy and very unconscious right now. So now we're gonna go and use the information we got from them to see if we can find the village keepers. So let's go. I'll hate
Let's
them.
get some food in us and then we'll... Whoa! Where did you come from?
Well, as you can see, I am merely sitting here and reviewing what we have deduced thus far.
I am just sitting here.
You were gone for ages! And now you're suddenly sitting here musing to yourself? Where have you been anyway? Hey, what's with the silence?
You never think things through before asking questions. I'm giving you some time to make up for that.
Paimon's so mad! Paimon's gonna give you an ugly nickname!
Go ahead, I won't stop you.
Never mind. Paimon's got nothing. There's just nothing super obvious to pick with this guy. It makes it so hard.
Well, you've heard nothing to suggest I left this whole time. So clearly, I stayed in the village to investigate. Anyway, you plan to leave Aru village and keep searching for the truth of this matter, yes?
Yep. We're not gonna find out anything more by staying here, so we thought that we might as well take the search elsewhere. Enough with the silent treatment!
Maybe he's giving us time to think.
No. I'm just surprised that you decided to team up with him.
All Hatham, you haven't helped us out at all ever since we arrived at Aru village. Bold of you to question our choices.
That's true.
Yeah, you're all talk.
While you were investigating, I had my own work to do, which I've now finished.
Really? Paimon doesn't believe you.
It is a little bit sus.
To be honest, we aren't really a team, so I have no obligation to inform you of my whereabouts. Not to mention that going separate ways allowed me to find some important information that you all had missed.
Huh? Right here in the village?
Correct.
What did you learn?
I'm going to take you to someone. But before that, you need to understand where she's coming from.
What does that mean?
How do you think the residents of Aru village feel about what we're doing? In other words, do you truly believe every single word the villagers tell us?
You mean some of them lied to us?
Hiding the truth does not necessarily equate to lying. Again, these people have their reasons. Remember what Gandis said? Most people in Aru village don't necessarily care which deity is in charge of Sumeru. That's because whether King Deshret or the Dendro Archon has power is of little significance to them. By contrast, the perils of their daily lives are ever-present concerns. They won't simply share everything they know with you without good reason. That's why you believed there was no further information to be found in this village.
So what you're saying is we can find new info from someone we've already spoken to.
Glad you're following along.
I mean, it's not that difficult to follow. You don't have to be so superior, my guy.
Among those you have talked to, there's someone who was consciously keeping you out of the loop. In fact, she's been observing your every move since you arrived. The reason being, to someone who only wants to live their life in peace, any external factors introduce unpredictability into the equation.
Those eyes. Those fierce eyes. You look like a real fighter.
Don't change the subject.
It's quite obvious that she's intimidated by Sino's authority and strength.
Right. You were asking about the mad scholars.
She corrected herself mid-sentence because she's aware that there are King Deshret fanatics in the village. If she sounds too friendly towards the village keepers, she could easily make herself the radicals' next target.
I think it's been a few days since I last saw them. I usually go to bed pretty early, so I'm not too familiar with what goes on at night.
Remember? She made a point of denying her involvement in anything that occurs at night.
But honestly, I feel quite sympathetic towards them. Even though they act a little strange, they've helped me in the past. If it weren't for them, my house would have collapsed long ago.
After speaking to the village chief, it became clear that the village keepers had protected Aru village at night. In other words, the young miss was very much awake during that time.
Then why would she lie?
By getting involved with an outsider, she risks drawing unwanted attention to herself. As for why she might be so wary about all this, maybe you should ask her.
I'll pass on this one. You said that she is afraid of me. If so, it's best if I stay out of this.
Fair enough.
We're on it!
We got this, my guy. Let's go. What was this quest called again? Something to do with Elazar Hospital? I'm a little concerned.
Miss Shawnee, as we discussed earlier, I've brought someone with me.
Mr. Alhaitham, I'm aware of where you stand, but how can I make sure that your friends think the same as you?
Huh? What do you mean? We need to clarify our stance or something?
Go ahead and talk to her. You'll get the answers you want. Go on. Earn her trust.
Is it really that simple?
May I call you Traveler?
Sure thing. Hi, Miss Shawnee.
Hi, Traveler. I want to ask you something. Do you think the resurrection of King Deshret can truly change Sumeru for the better?
No,
Why's that?
because it'll only result in conflict.
That's very similar to what Miss Candace says. I know you two are friends. That's why I'm willing to talk to you, even though I do have some reservations. Before, I wouldn't even have the courage to ask something like this. Traveler, do you believe our lives will get better?
I can't promise anything, but I'll do the best I can.
Yeah, we came here from another nation, so it isn't wrong of you to be weary. And we aren't really residents of any one nation. But even so, we've met lots of people from different places, and we've always fought for what we believed in.
And we do have a fairly decent CV.
We have friends in Sumeru, and we want to help them. That's why we decided to stay here for a while.
I want to trust you. My apologies for posing my questions like that. To be honest, I didn't expect you to come back for more information.
Alhaitham told us you have your reasons. It's okay. We understand.
The fact is that only one side of my family is desert folk. I don't really fit in anywhere in Sumeru. Some believe in the Dendro Archon, while others believe in King Deshret. I don't belong to either side, and neither side would want me.
Man, that's pretty rough.
Speaking of which, the radicals mentioned that they despise traitors. Do they just think that anyone who's different from them is a traitor?
Yeah. Some people can be so narrow-minded when it comes to bloodline and beliefs. It makes no difference what I say or how I behave. I'll always be suspected of having ulterior motives. Slowly, I just stopped talking to people. I pretended not to hear or see anything. All I want is to live my life in peace. And then it happened. The village keepers who had helped me disappeared with no explanation, and I didn't dare breathe a word about it to anyone. Until now.
You can tell them. I'm sure she'll keep your secret.
All right. I'll tell you what I told Alhaitham. I actually have a sharper sense of hearing than most. Sometimes, I hear strange crying sounds in the night.
There are ghosts?
Perhaps. I'm not sure. It's faint, but it's definitely the sound of crying. It comes from far away in the distance. and always carries very raw emotion. It used to be louder and more frequent, but ever since you arrived in the village, it doesn't seem to happen as often, and when it does, it's much quieter. I have to focus really hard to make it out.
It's kind of weird.
I confirmed this with the guards on night duty. They also have someone with a good ear, and he's heard similar sounds at night. But, because we're in the middle of a desert, you would rather believe that they are the cries of beasts than ghosts.
Could you make out where the sounds were coming from?
There's really nothing around these parts, except for an old hospital not far from the village.
I think they used to use it for treating Elazar, but it's been abandoned for years.
We need to check out that hospital.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, that feels like it's going to be pretty unpleasant. How far away is it? We'll take a little hop to a waypoint. And let's go. I'm a bit nervous. This sounds kinda weird. Oh, there's some little puzzles over here. Oh yeah, I came here very, very briefly once.
Oh, is this the place? It's in terrible shape. And the monsters! Watch out!
Oh babe, don't worry.
Hey,
Oh, we went kinda half up
Allow
on the
me.
thing. I can tell what happened there.
I see everything.
Ow.
Positions. Hold the line. Hey. They were easier to deal with than Paimon had expected.
What were you even expecting?
Super strong bandits? Or monsters taller than buildings dropping out of the sky? Or, something like that. He looks super serious. We gotta stay on our A game too.
Look at them. What are you doing? There we go. I think their patrols got mixed up.
This is the one.
Well, that's pretty cool. Good stuff, Mr. Hatham.
Let's go in and take a look.
Excuse me? I don't get to go in?
Hey, Hatham, we haven't found squat. Are you sure we aren't wasting our time here?
Patience. Shawnee says she only hears the crying at night. We have time to burn. Until then,
You gonna sit down and read? Big old nerd.
I'm taking a break.
And just like that, he sits down. Wait, he even brought a book to read?
That's hilarious.
What are you reading? Let Paimon see.
Bless him.
Okay, sure.
Huh? The natural position, which is the positional propensity of an entity in natural...
So, you got that?
I don't need to help Paimon say all that.
Oh, Paimon gives up. You keep reading your book. See ya. How is he so relaxed? Look at him, reading an impossible book in a creepy place like this.
You know, it wouldn't kill you to read a book once in a while either.
Hey, Paimon's your Tibet travel guide. Paimon knows plenty of useful stuff already. And anyway, it's not Paimon's fault that the books people read in Sumeru are so complicated.
Okay. Paimon's the best. Or whatever. Honestly, I was expecting to have to wait a while.
Paimon's getting so sleepy.
Okay, yeah, I can hear the crying.
Huh? What was that sound?
There it is.
That's really creepy.
It's coming from that direction.
It reminds me a bit of that PT Silent Hills demo when you can hear the like weird little wrinkled like baby fetus crying in the sink.
Is the sound coming from here? Huh. Paimon's not seeing anything.
It's from below.
But there's no way we can get down there.
Plunge attack?
Something is off about the interior here.
Nice work. Wow, I really have no autonomy here, huh? I wanted to get that interactable.
As I thought. There's a hidden structure.
Wow. It's like they tucked another hospital into this one. Oh, it looks like there are other mechanisms around here. Let's keep exploring.
Alright. First of all, where's the thingy? I want to get the Oculus. Oh, there it is. There we go. See? Easy. Big smart, big brain. Okay, so it looks like here we're going to need to use Animo. I love how she climbs. It's so cute. I'm going to assume we can't just... Oh, we can. I love that for me. Okay, so there's one over here. And one up there.
Everyone hold hands. Here. Here. Rest and rebuild. Let's move out.
Rude.
I see everything. A brash maneuver. Allow me. Stay put.
Oh, that was unnecessary. Okay, there we go. And there was one more at the top. Which I need to unlock somehow. Oh, that's fine.
With all my strength.
Free meat.
Everyone hold hands. Hold the line.
Or not. Thanks for not giving me the drops, game. Alright. Let's see if we've unlocked the right stuff. Ooh. We need a key. I have no idea where this key is, so we will find it eventually. Emergency notice. Patient Abbas, male 23 years old. Mole on the left side of the forehead, left-handed. While his condition remains very serious, survival will be difficult without professional medical care. The patient's survivability, once found, immediately inform. Don't give up, stay positive. All beings are under the watchful eye of the divine, so don't ever give up. Okay, the rest of the document has been rendered unreadable by weathering. This feels quite disturbing. This week's meals. Keep a balanced diet, rest regularly, and maintain a good mood. Monday, minty bean soup, tarchine, curry shrimp, pani puri. Tuesday, salad, biryani, fish with cream sauce, potato boat. Wednesday, shakshuka, bean cake. The remaining sections are blank. Damn, we only stayed there 3 days. In case of emergency, contact the physician on duty immediately. Monday, Ibrahim. Tuesday, blank. Wednesday, Amudi. The remaining sections are blank. I'm feeling feelings of worry. Old vase. Seems to be the darkened remains of a stem. It was probably used to hold flowers. The words for oven are at the bottom of the bottle. Well, that's depressing.
Look, there's someone over there.
We need to be careful.
Good idea. Let's approach him slowly without alarming him.
Hey. You okay?
Wait. You're...
He can't speak, and his eyes are unfocused. But he looks too young to be anyone's grandfather. Also, why is he the only one here?
Didn't expect to see him here.
You know him?
He's Razak, a senior of mine at the academia.
He's a scholar too? Is he the kind that holes up in a forest and mumbles stuff about training?
No. And that's the problem. Razak was never involved in any of those things. He never trained in the forest, let alone reach Satyavada life.
So how did he become like this?
Leaving that question aside for the moment, him being here alone means that we might be too late. Looks like they've already taken everyone away. For whatever reason, they left Razak here. Perhaps they simply didn't have time to come back for him. There are drag marks on the ground. They're clearer by the doorway. Someone was forcefully drawing a cart that was loaded with something heavy.
Loaded with people?
That is one possibility. It looks like they were in a hurry, as if they were afraid of being caught. In their haste, they failed to notice Razak hiding in a corner. The symptoms are identical. Looks like we found living proof.
Huh? Why do you say that?
Allow me to jog your memory. Recall your time at Port Ormos. Don't you think his symptoms look familiar?
The Eremite guy who went mad.
Oh, now that you mention it, they're acting the same way.
Correct. The academia is behind all of this. It isn't difficult to deduce their rationale. First, the academia spread a false rumor of King Deshret's resurrection, emphasizing the role of the village keepers, the mad scholars who were exiled to Aru village. These rumors were all the persuasion that the radicals needed, and those based in Aru village leapt into action. Unbeknownst to them, of course, through rounding up the scholars, they were actually helping the academia. As well as being able to exploit the radicals for their own ends, this scheme has one further advantage to the academia. All the risks and responsibilities are offloaded onto King Deshret's followers. Life for the desert dwellers has been brutal ever since King Deshret's death all those years ago. Beneath the surface, feelings of desperation are widespread. Many would give everything they have for the prospect of something better. Anyone looking to exploit that for their own ends simply needs to make a few empty promises. Even if complications arise, people will see that those involved are all followers of King Deshret and look for no further explanation than differences of belief. A deep-seated mistrust of the desert and everyone in it by the rest of Sumeru will make sure of that. The notion of an academia plot wouldn't even cross their minds. It may seem like a simple strategy, but it is able to work wonders under Sumeru's current circumstances.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. It's in line with the village chief's theory, too. But there's still one very important question. Wasn't it the academia that brought the scholars to Aru village in the first place? Why does it want them back now?
Throughout this process, one thing has changed. The scholars' identity. First, they were scholars. Then, they became lunatics. After that, they were exiles. And finally, they become missing persons.
I see.
An exile is still patently a living, breathing human being. But when someone becomes a missing person, that is brought into question. If you can't find someone, you have no way of knowing what exactly happened to them. That makes missing people an ideal resource.
Resource? For what exactly?
One possibility is that the information in their brains could be extracted into knowledge capsules.
Extracted? You mean canned knowledge comes from people's brains?
With the technology of the Sumeru Academia, it's entirely possible. Perhaps the process caused them great suffering, which is why they cry out in the dead of night when no one is watching them.
So, the human brain... Nope, nah, Paimon doesn't want to think about this.
How did you learn of this technology?
I'm the Academia scribe, after all. I'm familiar with their projects.
You're a very useful resource too.
Anyway, judging by Razak's state, the contents of a divine knowledge capsule were extracted from his mind. But something went wrong in the process. Or perhaps his curiosity got the better of him, and he used such a capsule for himself.
Paimon's a little confused. Can they just use anyone's brain?
I don't think you need to worry, Paimon. I'm still not convinced you have one. No, that can't be right. Most of the mad scholars had made contact with the divine consciousness in the forest. That's what the Academia is after. It's also safe to assume that this knowledge has something to do with the Fatui, the Doctor, and also the Balladeer. They're using divine knowledge capsules to turn the Balladeer into a god.
The look on your face tells me you've realized the answer.
The Academia needs people who have been exposed to the divine consciousness.
That's right. To some scholars, gaining knowledge about the gods is their entire life's pursuit. Extracting canned knowledge is just one of the extreme measures they turn to. However, I can't help but wonder, what do they seek to gain from divine knowledge? The Academia is going out of their way to look for forbidden knowledge, but what is their ultimate goal? I've spent quite some time trying to analyze the contents of the divine knowledge capsule, but to no avail. It seems like my way of thinking is too different from theirs.
Yeah, it's because you're not a power-hungry nutcase.
You mean you're not even slightly interested in getting your hands on this forbidden stuff?
All scholars seek to expand the horizons of knowledge, but I'm not particularly interested in gods, so I don't share their degree of zealotry. Extracting information from people as if they were lifeless objects? If this is the direction of academic progress, then the Academia may as well shut its doors.
Sounds like you're really against all this.
Of course. The Academia's actions run contrary to their rules. Whether it be academics or knowledge, everything has its boundaries. If those lines are crossed, the rules and order that govern everything in the world will be destroyed. This matter needs to be corrected, just like fixing a typo in a book.
Wait, didn't you step in to help because you felt sympathy for those poor people?
Not to be callous, but no. My criteria are a little more restrictive than that. There is no shortage of suffering in Sumeru, and the same can be said for the rest of Teyvat as well. What do you plan to do about that? Save every last person?
Probably not. Paimon's not sure.
Your motives are more specific and personal.
You can say that. Simply put, I don't blindly place my faith into strength or heroism. I do what I want. The divine knowledge capsule is something I want to investigate in full. That doesn't mean I'm willing to take action for the sake of a few strangers.
Though he rejects the notion of greater moral responsibility, he justifies his actions because they are true to his personal motivations. Someone like him might actually make for a better ally.
Paimon's been wanting to say this for a while. There are a lot of bad guys in the Academia, but you're not one of them. You're their weirdo.
You're probably right. Though I must say, I quite enjoy this feeling of being the odd one out. Uniqueness is also an asset, is it not?
I quite like him. He's never being a dick, or he's never like malicious. He just does what he wants and says what he wants, and that's fine.
Wow, that's a great way to think about it. Paimon's really impressed. If only Miss Shani had a similar mindset, her life would definitely be a lot easier.
I'm just a more likable person than her in general. There's nothing more to it than that.
He's very funny, but he doesn't mean to be. So what do we do with him?
He won't last long if we leave him here. Let's take him with us. We'll work out our next step after we return to Aru Village.
Alright, I think we're gonna finish in this creepy, derelict hospital. I hope you enjoyed this. We're getting real deep here. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.